Alright, everyone, we are back with the first episode of the new year. Very exciting, very exciting. 4 minutes into the new year, in fact. In the background, no doubt, at some point you will hear fireworks happening. We are going to go into the ice cave, because that apparently is our next destination. Some of the stuff... Oh, this is an awfully large party of not very difficult enemies. All the stuff I was looking at said that it would be a good idea to stock up on items before... Oh shit, stone. It would be funny if I didn't have any gold needles. Stock up on items before I go in here because it's kind of a slog. So, I decided to max out high potions, ethers, and phoenix downs. And I still have a surprisingly high amount of gil, which is nice. So we'll see how this turns out. Even though we are in the ice cave, I wonder if it actually does ice elemental damage. I wonder if that even exists in this game. I'm going to keep them equipped with the firebrands until I notice that they are particularly ineffective. But so far, it looks like we're just fighting old enemies here. Blood bones. These are things we found way back in the Cave of Earth, actually, so nothing particularly impressive so far. The only really dangerous thing is the cockatrices, and that's just because they can turn you to stone. Also worth noting, I brought home a white dragon. Whoa! That was really cool. And kind of shitty. I brought home some Mr. Pibb, and to ring in the new year, I am now drinking vodka and Mr. Pibb. Oh shit. Because neither I nor my partner drink very much. So we have like an inch of vodka in the bottom of a gallon of vodka, and it's been sitting in our freezer forever. So I figured, you know what? Why not drink it and celebrate by myself while she's at work? So we're gonna run through the ice cave. That should be fun. Some specters, those I think are new enemies for us. They're just cooler wraiths. Actually, you know, I might be unfortunately, I won't be able to run through battles as quickly, but I might start having my person use magic a little bit more, just because it'll take care of everyone at once. Less time for hitting people with weapons. So there's a stairway up. Oh, mind flayers. Those guys are definitely new. They do something. Mind flayers are, of course, also Dungeons and Dragons enemies. Actually, what the Pisco demons, no doubt, are inspired by. My mom just sent me a Happy New Year's text. So that's kind of cool. Let's keep going. Nothing too terrible so far. A dark wizard. Ew. That is a dark elf. Well, that's the dark elf sprite, at least, recolored. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if he's particularly terrible. Nope. Nope, not at all, in fact. Cool, that's exciting. Let's look at some of these new enemies. What do we got here? White dragon. Doesn't drop anything. Weakness to fire and lightning. Just all the other stuff. Mind flares. Drops phoenix downs. That's pretty cool. No weaknesses also. Spectre, which is our cooler Wraith or Shadow. And they are weak to typical undead guy stuff. And the Dark Wizard, who drops a red curtain. Not sure what that is. No weaknesses or resistance. Yeah, cool. Oh, King Mummy. Oh, these are guys that we found in the Temple of Trials, or Tower of Trials, I should say. King Mummy, typical undead guy, Rakshasa. Who just resists everything, but isn't particularly interesting otherwise. Nightmare, which is our cooler, crazy horse, which is in fact not a horse, but a unicorn. Weak to ice. And Dragon Zombie, which is also weak to typical undead stuff. We're all caught up on our bestiary. Mind Flayer. Oh. Oh. Oh, I see what's going on here. Cracks in ice almost always means falling down. Always, always, always. There's definitely never a time in video games that you'll come across cracks of ice that doesn't mean you're going to fall down. Dark Wizards. Ooh, they do pretty impressive spells, but... Oh, there's that red curtain. Let's see what that is all about. Red... Why would they... What? Oh. That's kind of cool. Why would they give us clothes? Those are the absolute worst armor in the game. In fact, it's the first armor that you start out with. What's even the point? A flame sword, which is worse than the ice brand. So I kind of don't see why they would give that to me either. Unless I really am doing elemental damage. In which case, I mean, I guess that makes a little sense. Oh, shit. This is a lot of people, but luckily, I'm just going to blast them all to hell. And I'm not too worried about it. Let's see how this goes. Yep. Pretty unimpressive. Spike floor. Oh, God. I see what's happening. So you thought lava was cool. Welcome to Lava 2.0 Spike Floor. This idea must have been such a hit over at Square development team that they were like, you know what we can do? Change the element of the damage and recycle it. Ugh, damage floors. Ooh, treasure chest rooms. Holy shit. God. So this is a really interesting experience because, like, oh god, I should actually kind of be careful. Because for a long time we had to really grind out some levels and spend time grinding out money too. Now we seem to pick up Gil at such a large amount that I really don't feel like we have to do that anymore. And honestly, like, I haven't even had to grind for levels at all, like, in a while. I usually pick up enough level advancement just wandering through the dungeons. So that's kind of interesting. It's interesting to see that sort of, that initial struggle for the payoff of the game easing up in difficulty. I don't know if that's just because, again, this is a really old game. They wouldn't really have had a very good idea. I wonder what that was. A very good idea of pacing. So they were just like, well, this seems like an appropriate, difficulty level. Or if it's, Jesus, if it's intentionally that way, so it forces you to struggle early on in the game in order to make progress, but then rewards you by sort of easing off on the difficulty later on in the game. Who knows? Oh god, there's a crack in the floor that a random battle stopped me from walking down. How lucky is that? Ooh, ice shield. Again, since we don't really have stats for elemental reduction or elemental damage at all, I don't really know how actually important that is, but what the fuck? Is this... what? Is this where I came in, really? No, it's not. What the fuck? How did I just, like, exit? What? That doesn't make a single lick of sense. Okay, we're just gonna do this because it's gonna speed up this battle process. Like, what? That's so weird. That's really bizarre. Okay. This is no doubt why it's a good idea to bring lots of items with you, because the enemy encounters are huge. So many enemies. I have tons and tons of ether, so I should be able to restock my Watt Mage with magic if she ever needs it. Bam! Huh, that's really bizarre. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so let's see if we can get back on track, wherever that is. Again, I'm kind of curious. So, you have the choice to make large encounters, right, or difficult encounters, with smaller amounts of enemies. So, and that still leads to that area. They obviously opted for more enemies equals more difficulty, but it's not true. It's just simply not true. Even if I wasn't over-leveled at this point in the game, I have a spell that does extra damage to undead, and a spell that, well, essentially two spells that do extra damage to undead, but definitely, I have, Dia, and then I have Fyra, or Fyraga at this point, actually. Ah, shit. So the amount of enemies that are in the encounter don't actually really matter anymore, because I can kill all of them in one turn as long as as long as those two spells go off, which, yeah, kind of changes things. I don't really know how you would compensate for that, or augment the difficulty. Maybe just not as many undead enemies would change that up a little bit. But it's kind of an interesting thing to notice. Okay, we're gonna have to ether up our White Mage, which is fine because ethers restore 50 magic, and I have 999 of them, so there's plenty to go around. Ice armor? Ow! Tons better evasion. That's cool. And of course the mithril thing, that doesn't actually matter to me, because I already have all the mithril. Oh! Ice Gigas. That guy was new. Let's look at him. Gigas. Oh, Winter Wolf. He's new. He drops ice shields. The feeling that wolves will be a reoccurring thing that we'll run into with the whole game. There's nothing else that I'm missing, right? Yeah. It is kind of... Oh, fuck. It is kind of interesting to note that we are about halfway through the game. We've only encountered 39% of the enemies in the game. That's interesting, I think. So, bearing in mind that those bonus dungeons that I was talking about a couple episodes ago do have unique, not only unique enemies, but unique boss characters, which, you know, also count as enemies, so that accounts for some of it. Okay, this is... That's the treasure room. I feel like this is where we ended up going last time. Somehow ended up on a first floor that teleported us to the exit. Which I still don't quite... Oh, Ramirez. That's interesting. I distinctly remember Ramirez being, or Ramirez, being an enemy that'll show up in a couple of different Final Fantasy games. I don't specifically remember if they're always insect creatures. But that name does look familiar to me. Okay, so here's basement floor 1, cave of ice. Oh, it was an ether, that's why. Blow the shit up out of everyone. Huh, so is there any, like, there's a treasure. Is there any correct way to progress from here? Because obviously going up is the wrong way. There's this. Maybe I'm supposed to fall in this crack. Yes! Aha! Oh, an evil eye. Interesting, okay. Evil eyes are also a recurring thing that we'll come across throughout the series. Let's see how terrible it is. Last couple... Oh. I feel like the last couple of times we've run into mini-bosses before special items, they've been significantly unimpressive. So cool. We have the levistone, which, if you remember, way back, when we went to the dwarf village, there was a specific dwarf that was like, "Hey, have you heard of the levistone? It lets you levitate things off the ground. I wish I had one." Well, now we do have one, which is going to help us get our airship, which is going to be cool times for us. I am going to spare you my progress out of this cave. Oh, I guess it'll move pretty quickly. But airship is exciting because we'll get to some new parts of the world. We'll get to talk to Bahamut so we can class up. That will be exciting because our mages will get access to new spells. Our warriors are going to turn into knights, which are going to give them access to very low level, but white magic nonetheless, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, let's look at the added some more bestiary stuff. Let's look at the evil eye. Evil eye. Not particularly cool. Doesn't even drop anything cool. The only thing he's resistant to is Quake. Kind of wish their scripted battles carried a little bit more weight too. Like that battle, that was nothing. That was like completely unimpactful. battle before the rat tail, or after the rat tail, the zombie dragon. So uncool. Didn't even do anything. So we're going to use the levistone. We're going to raise an airship up out of the ground. Now it's important to remember that even though a levistone was mentioned earlier in the game, nobody actually said anything about an airship being buried here. I guess you're just supposed to wander around and be like, oh, whoa, that was totally a desert area. Maybe there's an airship here, because, you know, 2 and 2 make 10. I don't know. I don't know why you're supposed to make that logical leap, but it is a thing. So now that we have an airship, things are gonna get cool. We can fly. Let's see. I don't know specifically how this airship works. Oftentimes in these games, you can only land them in non-wooded areas. That's cool. You get a little tilted perspective. Oh, yep. So only clear fields, looks like. So like I can, there it is. Airship is interesting because it makes, especially with the addition of the canoe, it makes the boat almost completely superfluous. Now we have the most access we will ever have to the world map, which is exciting. You know what else is exciting? Still don't have a fucking clue where I'm supposed to be going. Is it here? I don't know, because I can't land in the desert. Oddly enough, because we found the airship in a desert. Let's check this place out. Seems like a thing, right? Oh. It's actually just a tower, and I can't even go in there. Desert Beretta. Oof. He's pretty scary. This is also a very sort of tricky section in the game. Once the world map is opened up completely, your player suddenly has access to everything. Oh god. Allosaurus is a monster now. And so you really, at least I feel like you really have to be careful about how your enemy placement is laid out, because you obviously don't want your player to like go into an area that's way too difficult for him and be like, well, fuck this game because it sucks, and now I just die all the time, you know. But you want him to feel like he has the freedom to move about the map and explore new things. So, big tower thing, that's interesting, but we can't do anything with it. Here's a town. You like towns? This is the town of Gaia. Maybe it was that tower that we were trying to go into. That was the Wing of the Hawk. We have 7th level spells. So this is generally the right area then. Definitely get that now. For sure. Let's see. Kuraja is a white wizard only thing, so I have to figure out where that is. This is maybe a whole... Interesting. No. I have not visited that place, but kind of sounds like I might want to. Well, as a matter of fact, I happen to have an airship, so it's not impossible. Oh, ruby armlet, yes. Nice. Cat claws, the dagger. for some reason. Which is odd because, like, monks, later on in the game when monk is a more developed class, there are, like, monk-specific weapons and, like, claw weapons. I don't know why they wouldn't just kind of work that into this, especially because... What? You sold the fairy to a caravan? That's kind of weird. Especially because they already have nunchucks, which are a class-specific weapon. One of the only class-specific weapons that I feel like. I don't know why they couldn't have just, like, renamed that something like Spiky Nunchuck and then, like, I don't know. You see what I mean? Or even, like, they have the icons for, you know, like, knuckle weapons. Why not just make it a knuckle weapon and then fucking, you know, let people use it that way. I don't know. It's a mystery. I'm not a game designer, so I guess I don't, you know, get to make these choices. Somewhere around here, let me look at the map, because I'm just kind of flying games. Oh, it's over in this archipelago area. This is Bahamut's area. I think it's this one. Dragon Caves. Maybe? No, this is the Cave of Trials, right? Okay. Yes. There sure are a lot of swords here, so I'm gonna save. This just kind of seems like somewhere where I might have to fight things. Oh. Okay. Here he is. Yeah, probably since the last time there were warriors fled. So this is going to get real exciting. Rat's Tail. Why though? Ta-da! So, we now have Barry the Knight, Whitney the White Wizard, Ozzy the Black Wizard, and Rod the Knight. The major difference is Barry and Rod now have access to first through third level spells, a limited spell book of first through third level spells. And Whitney and Ozzy, although it won't show you if you look, actually have access to a few different spells now as White Wizard. So that's exciting. I wonder what happens. So there are lots of different dragon caves, though. Right. Ah. What about this one? They can't all go to the same place, can they? Hey, I did actually. He was a pretty cool guy. Oh, okay. So once you got the airship, if you came over here, it would have told you about this. Let's see what other cool dragony things are going on. Oh, it's the Hellfire Chasm. Oh. Oh, this is our second optional dungeon. Oh shit. Fuck. I didn't want to do this. Okay. I'm gonna stop the recording because I actually can't get out of the Hellfire Chasm once I get in it. And I will die or not die and start it back up when I'm headed in the right direction. Sorry about that. Okay, so we are back in Gaia, and I think I'm actually going to cut the episode here. I opted to buy some more spells for my mages, so we have Blizzaga and Break now, as well as Kiraja, something, and Diaja. I'm undecided as to whether or not I want to get spells for my knights. I feel like it's generally not going to be worth it, especially because they're only going to start gaining MP from this point. They don't retroactively gain MP for the levels that they've gained for the part that they're in right now. I got Cat Claws for my Black Mage. Definitely going to want to buy that. Let's see what you have. You're also always on Cat Claws. So I'll probably want 4 of these Protect Rings. That just chews through my money like a money-eating thing. So yeah. Well, that'll be nice for my mages, though. They don't get much protection. And when we pick the next episode back up, I have an idea of where I'm supposed to be going, so I will go there. And then we will see you back here tomorrow, or whenever you watch the next episode. Alright, thanks for joining us. Bye.